can hear me? We can hear Samantha.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. I can't see you yet, though. I don't think...
How about now?
Oh, I see a hand. Samantha's here! We're doing this together!
It's us in the same room!
Yay! We are... Yeah, it's gonna be fabulous. So we've got our coffees. Mm-hmm. Cheers for in-person brunches. I love the enthusiasm.
Yes.
Samantha's very excited to be able to read the chat again.
I know. I can see all of your lovely names.
It's awesome. Thank you. Todd appreciates our visual effects. Mm-hmm. VFX stands for visual effects. Yes. Hi. You finished Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, I did. And I'm still processing.
There's a lot of feelings. We have a lot of feelings we're going to get to.
Yeah.
We have been so good at not talking about it too much. Samantha arrived yesterday, and we've just been like, so, Deep Space Nine is a thing that's happened.
Yep.
It's been fun.
It's been a journey, we'll say.
It's been a journey.
An emotional journey.
Yes, exactly. Aw, thanks for the cheers. Thanks for the subscription, Zach. Okay, so let's get to it.
Let's get started.
All right, so we're gonna organize it not by episode, but by hi Josh, by topic.
Yeah.
Characters-ish. So we're gonna hang out there. It's definitely a journey for Dukat. Thank you, Mom. Mm-hmm. We're gonna try to save the Winn Dukat discussion for the end.
Try being the operative word.
Because it may end up being like an hour, because I'm so excited.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna kick things off. So this is the 10-hour Deep Space Nine finale.
Mm-hmm. Part 1, Part 2, Part 3.
And when I warned you about it, I said, we've got to do it all together. And what was your overall reaction to a 10-episode finale?
Well, I love that they structured it that way, because it really was like a 10-hour movie of building up to the end. And they really did they threw so much in there to wrap up the series, wrap up the characters, wrap up all the storylines. And it was just like boom, 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 boom.
Yeah. So as far as show finales go, is it a satisfying ending?
Yes. The only reason I would say no would be because I just wanted it to go on forever.
Welcome to Deep Space Nine.
Yeah, exactly. But it was very satisfying as a finale.
Good. I'm glad. So we're going to start talking about, first off, just the not headier stuff, the Ferengi and the journey of Quark and Rom and what they end up in here. So the first line I put that I feel bad because I don't think you get this reference, but it's my favorite moment that I actually fist bump, is where Quark says, "The line must be drawn here and no further," which is an iconic Picard moment, and for me just sums up why we love Deep Space Nine, is the fact that Quark says that line. It's amazing.
I wish I'd known that reference, because that would have made it so much better.
It really does. I feel like they led into that. But the big thing is that Rom is the Grand Nagus.
I know! That was such a great episode. I was thinking there's, like, they keep pulling that punchline of when the Grand Nagus, like, there was the static in the computer. And at first I thought it was like, that was just it. But then that comes back at the very end. He's like, no, I thought I was talking to Rom.
It's like, you were so excited.
And it's like the whole episode goes through and you think that Quark is going to be the Nagus, which also kind of makes sense. You sort of feel proud of Quark. Like, great, good job.
He's been given some, like, high-level Ferengi tasks to do.
Exactly. So. And so it made sense. But then Quark was being a little baby about it. And then it turns out it's Rom, and I was like, that's so great.
Yeah, It was so good, and I love that Quark accepted it. You know, Quark said, no, for this new Ferenginar, I suppose you're the best one to do it.
Exactly.
Man.
Kind of like a backhanded compliment, but any time any kind of compliment comes from Quark, it's a compliment.
It's a compliment. Yeah, exactly. That was love.
Yeah,
he said
exactly.
love.
He did. So Yeah, I love.
So how, because we go on a journey, and Joshua kind of mentioned this in the chat, with our feelings for Ferengis.
Yeah.
In this, how do you feel about Ferengis now? And are you happy with the journey? I think particularly, and I'm sure people can say this in the chat too, but like for me, Nog's arc is just one of the best ones. It's like...
one of the best. And yeah, it's interesting. I would say that Quark didn't necessarily have an arc. He has like little mini arcs throughout the entire series.
He has growth.
We have our, like, Quark learned something.
And then 2 episodes later, he learned nothing.
Exactly. So he's fun to watch in that regard, and he makes you a little more endeared to Ferengis, for sure. And then Nog just represents this sort of character who doesn't always fulfill like what a Ferengi's supposed to be.
Yeah.
So his arc, I think, is a lot longer and is so satisfying.
Yeah, I think initially I was a bit upset that Rom didn't stay like a commissioned engineer, because I liked that journey for him. But thinking about it, it's kind of nice that he got his own journey separate from Nog.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like there's a little bit of like, okay, well, and he joined Starfleet too, but now, I mean, it's true, Ferenginar's changed.
Yeah, exactly. And he can help bring it where it's going. So I love that for him. It was funny in that episode. I was wondering why Nog was not in uniform for most of the episode.
Yeah. I mean, that's true, because we see him. He's not on duty. I mean, maybe that's some growth for Nog, that he's grown up to not be obsessively in Starfleet uniforms at all time. Right. He's learned how to be off duty. That's what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
Yeah,
exactly. But like his little arc too, I just absolutely adore. He got into Starfleet.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And when you go back and rewatch Deep Space Nine, which you will do, because welcome to the club.
Oh yeah.
It's very emotional seeing Nog, baby Nog, as for the first time. Yeah. It's so cute. But yes, we learn, Captain Quinn said this, we learned that Odo and Quark are actually friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so funny that they're saying goodbye.
I know. I love them. I love them. Yeah, Music Paladin, that's my favorite part. But I also love everyone's reaction to Rom being made the Grand Nagus. There's just a bunch. And then he's like, you're going to need a financial advisor. And Quark's like, oh, I'm not interested. And Brunt pops up and he's like, I know someone. And Rom's like, no, never mind.
So true.
I love that so much.
Oh, yeah. There were some fun moments between like Quark and Brunt when they're when Quark still thinks he's been offered the job. And like him and Brunt have this like conversation where like, well, we're gonna work together now, and then Brunt starts telling him everything that's been happening, and they literally have a conversation that's like that song from Chicago, like Whatever Happened to Class.
Oh yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like the same type of conversation.
That's so
awesome.
true. That's so true. I know, these poor guys. Yeah.
Yeah. God.
We love Jeffrey Combs.
Yes.
Good times. All right, just check in the chat. Joshua, you've given us feelings. We'll get to that. That's this one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we'll get to that. So, any other thoughts on the Ferengi, Rom?
No, I love them now.
Yeah, good. I'm so glad.
Me
glad.
too.
We love the Ferengi. It's so good. Exactly, DS Niner. It's so good and so satisfying.
So satisfying, yeah.
Yeah, and Jeffrey Combs plays both Brunt and Wade in one episode. Love to see it.
So
I
great.
just love his head popping up.
Yeah.
So great.
He just pops in anywhere. In your closet.
Exactly, in your closet. Brunt, FCA. All right, so let's move on to the Klingons, the Klingon adventures in the finale. Sort of that kicks off the finale is Worf and Ezri get captured. This is where so it's like, I know because it's 10 hours, it's kind of hard to remember the first couple hours. But it does kick off with the Breen getting, sort of joining the Dominion.
Yeah.
So you got to see the Breen.
Yeah.
See the Breen.
See, right.
Yeah.
Hear them more.
Yeah. And I just love it because when Kira is disguising herself as a Breen, she has a full-on Leia moment in
100%.
Which I think we did not talk about, but we were on the same page right there. So it's so good. But yeah, the Klingons and the Romulans are sort of begrudgingly working together. Gowron comes in and Gowron's his nonsense.
Right?
All over it. Oh my god.
I mean, I definitely thought he was a changeling throughout most of that.
Because he was just making poor decisions.
Being a stupid Klingon. And Gowron is one of those where, like, you like him, you hate him. You like him, you hate him. You like him, you hate... Like, just all through everything. Like, he's got his moments, but not this time. Yeah, he's just making a bunch of stupid mistakes and stupid decisions based on power stuff. Like, not what's for the good of the war effort.
Seriously. Captain Quinn asked maybe Gowron was going senile. We saw that with one of the other Klingons. With Core. Well, starts with a K. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I think it's Core. Yes, thank you. We were right. But yeah, Gowron just... I think what I do appreciate is that what they're showing is that there are people who never learn and never grow. And that's essentially Gowron's role.
Yeah. He's just there to demonstrate that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the moment when Worf kills him.
Oh god, because so good.
It's like, I mean, he has this moment where, I mean, I don't think he meant to. Or did he?
I mean, honestly, like, I don't think he went into the room intending to kill Gowron. Exactly. I think it was like, there's gonna be a confrontation, and Worf is gonna do what Worf has to do. Yeah, it's just amazing. It's like my brain forgets every single time that Worf kills Gowron. Like, going all the way back to TNG, you know, Worf's whole arc, like, with Gowron and with the, you know, it's like, to get that full circle is like crazy. Crazy full circle.
And the fact that he did, and then they're all like, Worf, and he's like, no, this goes to Martok!
Exactly.
I was so happy.
It was so good. Yeah, Music Paladin, Samantha's founder Dar did go off with Gowron. She mentioned that at the beginning, to just be like, he's being weird, if you missed what she said. But yes, it's to be full TNG Deep Space Nine. But then yes, you're right, like, for Worf to then turn around and say, it's not supposed to be me, I'm giving it to Martok.
And poor Martok's like, I'm not a politician.
I know.
Why are you doing this to me? But then Worf just explains again, like, no, we need you in this role. Yeah. And, it's so great.
I mean, he lays out, I think, really well, what the problem with the Klingons have been. You know, like, all of your irritation.
honor, and honor.
All the politics that have gone on. Yeah. Worf is like, this is dumb. This is ridiculous. You know, he tells him, he's like, when was the last time, like, you know, were involved in this stuff? And it's so, so that's the thing Kairo's mentioning here. When Ezri asks Worf, when was the last time he actually saw an honorable Klingon leader? Perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah. And she actually says basically that line of, like, you guys are all so obsessed with honor. When was the last time you actually did something honorable? Or like, you can always twist that around, you know. And
Oh yeah, Astra, that's it too, where she says the Klingon Empire is dying and I think it deserves to die. So which is, good.
Like, harsh words to Worf. But the fact that he kind of takes that in, and then it follows through to this Martok becoming Chancellor is amazing. But then, so Worf also kills Wayun. Doesn't he? He just takes his head off. Exactly. Just pops off. I love that part.
I mean, I think Worf, the great thing is, I think through TNG and Deep Space Nine, Worf became his own being. And he realized and especially going through the tragedy of Jadzia. We'll get to Ezri and Bashir, but, like, how did you feel about Ezri and Worf and their relationship? Because you've had some feelings.
I've had some feelings, exactly. Well, at first, when it started happening, I was like, I had just gotten used to the fact that they were muddling through trying to get used to each other as just separate people. And then they got together when they got stranded on the planet, and I was like, wait, my brain, like, this, I wanted this at the very beginning, but then I just had gotten used to them, like, not doing it, and I was like, I really like them as friends, and then they go through it, and then I was like, well, okay, I could get on board with this, because, I mean, it's the love story, it's Dax and Worf.
They're good actors, they sell the chemistry, Oh,
yeah, completely, but then when it comes full circle, and they both kind of go, yeah, we shouldn't have done that, and this is too confusing, and it's just you're a different person. Then I feel like them having gone through all of that weirdness and all of that awkwardness, I really love their relationship throughout the rest of the series together.
Yeah, so you think that, like, they had to go through that weirdness to get...
way.
Yeah, that's fair. Because I do like their interactions and their chemistry on Deep Space Nine when they get back.
Exactly, and it feels a lot more natural. It's like they've reached a point where they tried it, maybe, and they're like, okay, now we see where both of us are.
And they sell that. I think that's a very real thing that happens, so...
Exactly.
It's really good. All right, just catching up with the chat. Atma Prime talked about the great leaders do not seek power; they have power thrust upon them. I freaking love Martok. I love Martok. He's our space Klingon dad. Oh my god! I'm just like a little child when everyone's chanting Martok, and I'm just like, yes, Martok. And I did, in case people didn't know, I do have a House of Martok tattoo.
Which, like, so cool.
He's my Klingon space dad.
He's amazing. Easily one of my favorite characters.
Awesome. He's just so badass. And again, too, it's like what has been so fun for me rewatching this from scratch with someone who's never seen it before. Like, the first time we meet him being a changeling for like half a season. It's so long.
About that. Yeah.
It's so long. It's just, it's crazy. Yeah, it's, oh my god, so good. We love Martok.
We do. We really do.
Oh, so good. And it's just, and I love too I think they really do a great job of the whole battle aspect, like all the strategy, Martok working with the Romulans and working with the Starfleet Admiral and all working with Sisko, like they do really, really sell it, and it's good. Yeah. So, Anyway, all right. Anything else on Klingons?
Nothing springs to mind.
Okay, we'll come back if anything else pops up. So Jedi, hi, asked, did you fall in love with the real Martok or changeling Martok?
Oh,
first?
real
Martok, yeah.
Didn't even have to think about that one.
Right, I think his reveal of him and changeling Bashir in the prison is so good.
Yeah.
And getting to see him fight back, we're like, that's Martok. That's awesome. Yes, we love it. All right, good question. Thank you. Cardassians. Joshua in here put in the Kanar with Damar. We're gonna get into the really heavy stuff.
Yep.
All right, so
here we go.
Kira goes to help the Cardassian resistance, which they acknowledge is weird many times. She's like, I can't believe I'm doing this. He's like, did you ever think that you would be the champion of the Cardassians? She's like, nope, and I hate it, but I'm doing this because y'all need me. How'd you feel about that whole story plot?
Well, I feel like they wrote that so well in the sense that at first I was all on her side of like, oh, this is really weird and bad, and I don't get why she's helping them, and so I'm kind of in her corner on all of that, but like at the same time it makes sense that she would help them do that. And then as it comes through, like her and Damar, like I really love them together, like
really
not necessarily together, but like honestly I wouldn't be mad at that. But the way that they sort of, him in particular, how he accepts her help and understands A, how good she is at that, and B, the way that there's so many little wordless moments when he's like accepting kind of on behalf of what the Cardassians did, accepting some responsibility there and understanding what Kira went through. And so as that comes through, like, I ended up loving the fact that she was helping the Cardassians in this way, and her skills were, you know, able to contribute in that way for them, and the Cardassians getting a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, so that's Muhammad put the scene where Kira's passive aggressive with Damar after his family is killed. Yeah. I feel like that is a huge moment for both of them, and they stuck with that. Like that was a character building moment for both of them.
Yeah, absolutely. That little moment, they're just like no words. They that eye contact and Kira's expression says it all.
Yeah, yeah. It was great to I mean. So let's talk. I've got like 3 things I want to talk about with this. I'm just organizing them in my mind. Let's talk about Damar. There's everyone in the chat is pivoting to Damar. So let's pivot to Damar. How I think Samantha likes Damar.
I really, really do. I really do.
That's awesome.
Like I don't know. Favorite character from the last season.
Really?
Like his whole just trajectory, really, I love what happened to him. You know, that he became this leader, and he became a leader who actually has leadership qualities in terms of like accepting when he's wrong. They were wrong in many ways, and taking charge of the fact that Cardassian needs to change.
Yeah.
And accepting Kira's help in that way, and like the fact when he defected, he kills somebody that made me really excited. I can't remember. Or maybe it's just when he left. I think when he left the changeling.
When he stands up to Weyoon and walks out. And I don't think he killed one of the Weyoons. We established in the chat we've all lost track of which Weyoon was killed when and by whom, and that's okay. That's why we rewatch it. Yeah, exactly.
No, but I think it is when he made that decision and he like left, and I was like, Damar, good job, and I was really interested to see where that would go. Like I honestly thought he might like defect back, or because I mean he was kind of a crummy partner.
He's a POS, man. Like I think so. What's interesting for me is like I do not have these close feelings about Damar. I know a lot of people do, but that's okay. I think someone said it in here. Yeah, Music Paladin said I did not find him likable at first. Me too. Like, and I think it's probably because, especially like with his drinking issues, I was like, this is like too close and I don't like it, and it makes me uncomfortable. And then, of course, like anytime, I guess maybe I should also be honest with myself. When I'm watching the finale, I'm not looking at Damar. Because it's Damar, Garrick, and Kira, and I'm just laser focused on one of those 3 people. So so that could be my own fault and flaw, but that's fine. But yeah, I think like, and Cairo mentioned this too, the whole story of slipping into alcoholism and pulling himself out to become a freedom fighter. It's like, it's brilliant. Like, it is really, really good. And I think the more I've watched it, the more I appreciate Damar. And it's like, I kind of had those moments where I was like, oh, I get it. Like, I get why people love Damar so much.
I love watching when people can change. And the fact that he does. He go that. See, I wasn't satisfied with Dukat.
Yeah.
Because I thought that in the very beginning, I thought maybe that's the direction he was going, but not so much. So Damar, I think, sort of replaced that for me. I was like, yay, a Cardassian that can do the thing.
You like it. Cardassians have given us lots of feelings. Music Paladin said, let's talk about their hilarious cracking up when they're about to storm the Founders compound.
Oh my god. That was
poor Cardassian.
So good, but also like when they start laughing and stuff, it's like they're kind of giddy in this way where they're like, we're about to die. Yeah. You know, and it's kind of heartbreaking to watch them kind of go into hysterics, because then they almost, like Kira does that laughing to cry face. Yeah. And she doesn't start full crying, but you can tell it's just their list, like, oh, we're in this ridiculous position right now.
This is it, and this sucks. Yeah. No, it's really tough.
It is.
Yeah. Ooh, Laura brought up a great moment when Damar looks at Garrick when he learns Tane was his dad. Is a great moment by Casey, the actor who plays Damar. Yeah. It's so good. And Muhammad. Most Cardassians are basically Romulans that talk too much. Oh my god, that's the best take about Cardassians I've ever heard. That's so good.
So good.
The Zial's death. Hi, Alp. Zial's death was so defining for both Dukat and Damar. That's really good. I like that. Yeah, Astro, exactly. It's that stress release of laughing at a funeral. Yeah. Chuckles the clown. So then I'll try to not pivot the entire conversation, but let's talk about Garrick. Yeah. Since we brought up Tane. But how'd you feel about Garrick in this one?
So Garrick was interesting in these. I actually found him kind of unlikable in the beginning of the finale.
Ooh, interesting. Let's unpack that.
I'm almost hesitant to say that because I can't remember very specific lines or anything, but it was just sort of the way he was saying certain things made it seem like he was gonna make a bad pivot to some thing. I don't know. It just seemed like he wasn't in anyone's corner. This is a character therapy hour.
I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to distract you.
That's what it is. So, again, my brain was like, he's definitely a changeling because he's acting really weird. I thought he was just acting...
Your founder Dar went off.
Founder Dar.
Yes. Yeah.
Founder Dar. So I was a little taken out of it out of the beginning of his arc in the finale because I just thought he was acting kind of strange. But then, it was really interesting when they went to see Mila and to see him in that family environment, sort of. We get some clues into his background.
As much as you ever will. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, Terrell, a D.S. Snyder fan, says, I understand you not wanting to trust Garrick. We've all had those feelings.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
This is true.
But I did trust him, actually. I really didn't. I trusted Damar more than him, and
interesting
in the beginning. But then more and more stuff happened, and I was like, okay, he's just Garrick being Garrick.
Yeah. I think the scene in the final episode where they are having... where Mila's feeding them, and she's yelling at him about not finishing his food. Yes. She's like, "Look, Damar finished all of his food."
Totally.
And exactly. Yeah. It's just so good.
And I had so many moments when I did not trust Mila.
Really?
Oh my god.
Oh no.
So many. She was just making weird comments and being kind of shady, and I was convinced that she had called the Jem'Hadar.
Really?
Not when they actually showed up. Yeah. When they actually showed up, by that time I knew she was fine.
Right.
But throughout the whole moment of them staying in the cellar, I was like, she's definitely gonna turn them in.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, Astra says they loved all the scenes in Mila's basement. It was like watching a theatrical show. I love that. A theatrical show.
Oh, yes.
Like a theater. It is like a theater performance. It's one of these bottled episode type things where they're all in there. They're all kind of trapped.
Yeah.
And Captain Quinn, I agree. I love it. So good. We love it.
Yes.
We love Garrick. I love Garrick. But yeah,
Garrick's great.
Cairo mentioned that was Wei Yun's last clone. I was hoping she would say that. It's such a great Garrick moment
so
too.
Good.
We love it.
It's just so good.
So I will make another pitch to you and to everyone else here. If you haven't seen it and you happen to not have been here when I have not shut up about it, check out the book A Stitch in Time, written by Andy Robinson himself about Garrick's past. And this is him writing. So it's takes place in it bounces between 3 time areas. One is it's set in after the Deep Space Nine finale, where Garrick is writing to Bashir, reminiscing about their time on Deep Space Nine and also filling in bits in his past. And it was all written, the bits on Deep Space Nine are from Andy Robinson's own journal that he kept while they were filming, because he filled in the pieces of what Garrick was doing,
That's so
where
cool.
and when. and then all of his past, like with Mila, with Tane. Oh, I'm getting chills thinking about it. It's such a good book.
Oh my god.
It's so good. It's out of print, so it's very hard to find a physical copy, but you can get digital copies, and it's so great.
Oh,
yes.
Awesome.
Yeah. Good times. I do own a physical copy. I'll just say that. But yes,
So cool.
we love it. See ya, Kuro. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for the cheers. Okay, so yeah, I guess the thing that upsets me so much about the idea that Mila betrayed them is like there's so few people Garrick actually trusts.
Right.
Like that would break my heart if she betrayed them.
I know, but I'm so glad that I was proven wrong in thinking that. You know,
I'm glad too. I'm very glad too.
Yeah.
Todd brings up a good point, and we're gonna get into the Dominion and Weiyuns and stuff themselves, but like the last clone bit allowed Weiyun to have a death scene and a story ending. All the others get to have some ending, so Weiyun gets to have his story ending too. That's kind of nice. I like that. We get to see more Jeffrey Combs acting.
Right. Always a good thing.
We love it. And Terrell, the DS9er fan, asked, what about the scenes with Garrick and Odo at the start of the Resistance? Remember, right before when they're on Deep Space Nine and they're gonna go.
Yeah, I don't remember.
They have some really good moments where Odo has never trusted Garrick,
right?
And so they kind of get their closure of being able to acknowledge their difficulties.
Oh yes. Foggy remember.
Yeah, that's okay.
Scenes.
It is a 10-hour movie. It's fine.
Yeah. So I don't remember a lot about that, but I remember I remember it happening.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, I just love it. I love any scene with Garrick, but I think it's nice to see him and Odo acknowledge their difficulties and their personalities. And because remember too, Odo was kind of the one that like called Garrick out for, I think it was Odo, for like betraying Cardassia, like back in the beginning of this season, and that was hard for Garrick to come from. But yeah, and I think that's what he struggled with being on Cardassia, and we saw that with his house being destroyed.
Yeah.
Okay. Did we get all of these?
Yeah.
We're reading our notes. You ship Kira Damar much more than you admitted to. Let's call you out on that one.
I can't help it. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We'll forgive you.
I mean, after Odo left, if Damar was still alive, which also the fact that he died, I was very mad, very angry.
I'm sorry.
In that scenario, if all those boxes were ticked, I would be behind Akira Damar.
There we go.
Yeah.
To fanfiction.net. And no, to AO3. Let's go write that fanfiction. It definitely already exists, I'm sure.
If it does, I need to read it.
Yeah, definitely. All right. So, any other thoughts on Cardassians? Cardassia?
Probably, but I don't.
I do love the moment where Cardassia turns on the Dominion in the battle.
Oh my god, I'm so glad you brought that up. The moment when all the ships start like firing on the Dominion and the Deep Space Nine's like, what's going on? And I'm like, yes, the Resistance reached the space battle.
It's like they've turned, and I love too that how much Damar realizes he does play a role in it. You know, that he's like, I need to be present. People need to see me. Much to Kira's dismay from a protection logical standpoint. It's just nice to see.
Yeah. But I love that Kira's points that we need to bring this to the people. Like they need to be rising up.
Yeah.
And his like agreement of that. And that's what made the difference.
Yeah, that is what made the difference. That's so good. We love it. Love to see it.
We love it.
Hey Wayward, no worries. Glad to have you here. We are talking about the end of Deep Space Nine. Lots of feelings. Okay, so then let's move on to, we sort of touched a little bit on the founders. Section 31 and Julian Bashir. Julian Bashir's arc in this whole thing. Julian, to my surprise, was your first, like, I love him.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
And I was like, really?
I felt the judginess.
It's okay because I personally feel like Bashir takes a couple seasons to find himself.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious how you feel about Julian now.
Yeah, and it's funny, I didn't feel that at all in the beginning, which was interesting to me because you kept saying that. I honestly thought he lost his way a little more recently.
Interesting.
Like, he just kind of was sort of bouncing around, and he actually seemed a little creepier in certain scenes than the season 7 than in the beginning to me, which I don't know what that's about.
That's so funny.
But I mean, I still think he's so interesting, and I love his character, and his whole battle with Section 31 it's just, I mean, it's interesting. I think he feels like almost taken advantage of by Section 31. It's like, I didn't agree to be a part of this. Why are you stringing me along like this? And the fact that he is able to, I don't know that he brings them down, but he exposes them.
Yeah,
in
he
a big
exposes
way.
Yeah.
So that was really satisfying.
Yeah, I'm gonna give credit. Jedi AK-47, my partner in the chat, and in real life, not just in the chat. He mentioned this to me and said I could steal it, but I'm not gonna steal it because he's in the chat and listening. But it was a really, really, really good point that I had never thought of before, which was, do you think that Julian Bashir and his attitude with Section 31 is born out of jealousy that there are people who are smarter and know more than he does?
Interesting.
Yes.
I mean, I could never put it that eloquently, but I think I was feeling that.
Yeah.
For a lot
he's
of it.
like, he's upset he can't find a cure, that they were doing all of this behind his back, that he wasn't the smartest guy in the room. Like,
Yeah, and you can kind of see that really, he breaks down a little bit.
He gets really frustrated and gets very angry at the situation. And I kind of always attributed it to just his desire, like, scientifically to, like, find a problem, and his frustration of not being able to find that, to solve that. But thinking more deeply that there's an entire organization of people who are smarter and outsmarting him, that he's just like, don't like this.
Don't like this at all, exactly.
I do think, so for me, like, my relationship with Julian Bashir is, like, I did not like him at the beginning. I think, Terrell mentioned it really well, is an overeager man-child. But he does grow, and I think the sort of, I in my sort of headcanon of the Deep Space Nine arc, I feel like his acceptance of his genetic modifications and him at least revealing that and not having to hide that anymore was a big turning point for him.
That was a huge turning point.
Whether you liked him after that or not.
Yeah. No, I liked him most of the way after that. It was sort of this more recent, like, the whole 10-hour finale where he got just a little, lost his way a little bit to me. But, yeah, I still love him.
Ooh, Umbra's got a good point. I don't think it was just smarter than him, although there certainly was that. I feel like there was very much a Hippocratic Oath part, that they had a cure and didn't share it for political reasons. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of grappling with, like, people not being good. Like, Starfleet, even though it's like a rogue Starfleet operation, it's like, he's not, it just doesn't compute that they wouldn't do it.
Yeah, exactly. So, all of that being said, how did you feel about Bashir and Ezri?
I didn't love it, I didn't hate it.
Okay.
I mean, it felt natural,
okay,
to their credit, but I was just always wanting him to find someone outside of Starfleet for some reason.
Gotcha.
Maybe me.
There it is. I love that. That was a deep personal just admittence right there. Yep. Nope. That's why I'm not a fan, because it should have been me.
But I'm not not a fan. Ezri and Julian made sense, but it also happened kind of fast. They didn't really build it too much, and it also was weird because we know that Julian liked Jadzia as well, so it's sort of like, okay.
Yeah. Agreed, Stooge. Bashir should have ended up with Garrick.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. I forgot about that. Yes.
Yeah.
That too.
And Brad says the Samantha and Bashir adventures are coming next on Paramount Plus. There you go. It's been great to turn around and see in season 7, credit to Nikki DeBoer for selling Ezri.
Yes.
Like, we like her in one season.
Yeah.
As a replacement for a beloved character.
Yeah.
Like, that's so hard to do and sell.
It's so hard, and she does it so well. I forget, and because she's also Dax, like, she does that so well, so I forget myself that I'm only seeing this actress for one season.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm just watching Dax.
Exactly.
Like, that's incredible.
It's incredible. Yeah, and I think everyone feels a little squishy about the Bashir Ezri thing just because of how obsessed he was with Jadzia, that it feels like do you like Ezri, or is this just a loophole to be with Dax, you know? So.
But I did just realize it makes my Ezri cosplay even better.
There you go. There you go. You heard it here first. Oh, Darrell, I think Quark and Ezri would be a cute couple. Oh, I kind of love that.
Yeah.
That's kind of adorable. I love it. No worries, Wayward.
They're almost the same height.
Exactly. That's so great. Yeah, we love it. So speaking of Bashir and other relationships that he should or shouldn't be in, I mean, I don't think we don't need to get into why Bashir and Garrick are a perfect couple. But you had many questions. You were texting me in real time about O'Brien and Bashir in the finale.
Like,
let's unpack that.
Well, I mean, so they have this full-on, really deep conversation where Julian essentially comes out as bi, from what I was hearing.
This is in the final episode.
No. When they're in Sloane's mind, they're sitting by the door. They're having this like. Unless I was mishearing.
No. I think that's valid. I guess I didn't. I wasn't.
I did text you in the finale though.
Yes. Yeah, that part as well. Yeah. But yeah, I think thinking about it now, especially as a person who's bi, I'm surprised that I didn't really pick up on the conversation. But
well,
yeah.
I mean, it could be that, or it could. I mean, they were basically expressing love for each other, but that doesn't have to be sexual. I mean, it could easily be just a friendship, because they do have an incredibly deep bond, an incredibly deep friendship, but they sort of pushed it a little in that direction, in the writing and the acting with their Alamo scene, you know, and how they're talking to each other. And then in the thing that threw me off the most was in the finale when O'Brien's about to leave and, you know, picks up the army figure, and then the montage starts playing and the song starts playing, and I didn't realize that the song was going to go through everybody's credit scene, like all of the characters. I thought, because it's starting with O'Brien and it's all these O'Brien Bashir memories going through in this like fuzzy, you know,
sort of beautiful montage.
I remember all the fun times we had, and so at first I was like, well, here it is. Like,
are they? They're literally
O'Brien
establishing
literally
them.
is in love with him, which doesn't have to mean anything. But because O'Brien's happily married and has 2 kids, and it's like fine. But yeah, so
well, and I think that they lean into that, and I'm glad we're having, because I think a lot of people are chiming in here with really good points of just like whether it's love, whether it's a bromance, of course it doesn't need to be a sexual relationship. It's, you know, however deep it goes, I do think they acknowledge it in the finale.
Yeah.
And especially in the final episode, because that's where O'Brien hasn't told Julian that he's leaving Deep Space Nine, and he's going back to Starfleet Academy, and like his literal, like, his wife and his kids all call him out on that. They're like, you haven't talked to Julian yet, like what is wrong with you? So it's like, it's not even a secret, you know, of just how close they are. And it's something that the other thing I really appreciate is that Keiko is not jealous of it, you know, that she's just like, no, it's
she knows they have their special you know, times and activities, and they're super close.
Yeah, exactly. We love it.
Yeah.
Love to see it.
And
Hi, Chuck.
That reminded me of this, I think it might be a cold open or I'm not positive, but the scene where they're all getting the Defiant ready and they're all having these little conversations in between like I can't say like, yeah, computer's doing the right stuff.
Yeah.
And then like, didn't you have dinner with so-and-so? And like, yeah, the computer's doing the right thing. And didn't you do like, that was such a great scene.
Exactly.
And it's when O'Brien's trying to tell him and he can't find the right time.
He can't find the moment. And because they're all also calling out Bashir on hooking up with Ezri, because that's where they just found that kind of was open at that point. Yeah, that's really funny. No, I like how much of Julian got to be that character that explores relationships, and I think that they do a great job with that. Having watched it, again multiple times. So, so let's talk then about, since we're on Bashir, about the Section 31 thing, and that he discovers that Starfleet is the one that infected Odo to then infect. Like, that's dark.
That is so dark. As that was happening, well, I was writing, so I'm writing my notes in real time, texting you in real time, so I'm like, got a bunch of, like, you can see me figuring it out as it goes. So I'm writing down, like, did they infect him intentionally? Like, big question mark, like, how could that be? And then as I'm writing, it's like, yep.
Exactly.
So, I mean, that's just, it's really not uncomfortable that they would make that decision to commit genocide.
Because you just said the word genocide, and I'm so sorry. I was about to laugh about this. Like, I'm trying to not. That was a very awkward transition. I was just kidding. But Astro's comment made me laugh so hard, where it was like, yep, Keiko says, go play with Julian. Okay, now I can relax.
Yeah.
Put my feet up. Go play with your toys. Yeah, it's fine. I love it. But yeah, I think it is so dark. And so the thing that Deep Space Nine did so well was have this all planned out from the beginning. Yeah. You know, that I don't think it didn't feel like a hard left reveal. Right. It was just like, they did that. That makes sense now. Yes. And that's kind of effective.
That's a really good point. That's almost what's scarier, is it didn't feel off from a like something Section 31 would do perspective. It was more like, wow, they just went there. And I can see that being something they would do. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, definitely. Does it change your opinion of Starfleet at all?
Yes. Although, yeah, I mean, I think it does, because even though it's still a little unclear if Section 31 is super sanctioned or not, this was such a like low bar move. Like, you know, so yeah, a little.
Yeah, fair enough.
And I mean, we've established there's a lot of shadiness in Starfleet, particularly in the admirals. Which I will say though, this dude, least shady admiral I've ever seen.
That's right.
I liked him.
And he can manage a Zoom conversation. But
I honestly kept waiting for him to do something shady. Because I was like, he's an admiral. Yeah. But no, I did find it did color my my opinion of Starfleet.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think it's something a lot of us forget because we love Starfleet, and a lot of us have made decisions in our lives and careers because we want to go to Starfleet, and just remembering that there is a very dark side. Right. Stooge brought up the good episode too. The Pegasus, the TNG episode, shows how shady admirals can be as well. That was a very admirals suck.
Yeah.
That's really good. You know, and I want to scroll back real quick to the comment that Jerome DS9er fan made about going back and watching Miles and Julian is what makes Deep Space Nine very rewatchable. I would agree and extend that to, I think Julian is one of the reasons, like, I love watching Deep Space Nine over and over and over again. Even though he's not my favorite character, he touches so many favorite characters and grows so much. And you see his relationships grow, and they're funny and they're entertaining, and like, I think that was a big epiphany for me. Thank you.
Well, actually, the way that DS9 is structured and the way they really focus on the characters, and each has these arcs that they go through, like as I was watching, I was like, this is gonna be such a great series to rewatch.
Yeah,
because
good.
of this.
Oh, yay. Oh, Joshua, yeah, we'll get to that too. We're gonna get to Sisko in a second. But yeah, so now we're a little bit in the Founders here. So let's talk about the Founders. The changelings are infected. Evil Glenn Close is flaking.
Changing leprosy.
I think Jedi walked through the room while I was watching one of these episodes, and he's like, God damn, Michael Westmore. Like, who's the makeup artist? Like, it's so upsetting to watch.
It is.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah. But Odo's trying to hide it. I think that's one of the hardest things.
Right. He's trying to hide it from Kira. And like when Garrick finds him and you see how far gone he actually is, it's just like, Odo.
Yeah, exactly. And you're right. The moment where that may have been the moment that Terrell was asking about too.
Yeah, could be.
when Odo discovers that, or when Garrick discovers Odo is sick, and but yeah, it's tough. It's really, really, really hard, and yeah, so how'd you? Okay.
So evil Glenn Close is dying, which I mean, not mad. And I mean, she's kind of fascinating in these last episodes because she's trying to clearly hold on to some control and can see things slipping away. And
she's great.
Oh, she's so good. So frustrating and awful to watch, but so good. So she's making these like rash, like quick decisions with the Breen and the like, ignoring what she has told Wayuns and being like, the Breen are now my favorite people, and they're gonna do all the things, and Wayuns just like, all right.
Yeah, and then he's like, wait, didn't you say we could have Earth? And she's like, I promise a lot of things.
Yeah. She's like, I would tell them anything to get them to do what I want, and he's also then like, all right, well, what would she tell us that she's not gonna give us?
Exactly.
But it's one of those moments like, you're working for the evil guys. What did you expect?
No, exactly. You're like, I always just picture that, oh God, what's the Mitchell and Webb sketch of the SS officers in the trenches, and he's like, are we the baddies? Like, oh wait, we have skulls on our, maybe we're the baddies, and I just feel like that's
it reminds me of the moment in Endgame or Infinity War, I can't remember which one, where they're like, Ant-Man's like, you didn't know these guys were Hydra?
Yeah.
They look evil.
Exactly.
They're wearing all black.
Exactly. That's 100%. And I feel like what's so interesting is I really feel like Wayun has that moment of just, oh my God, this is not going to end well.
Yeah. It's like, oops.
And he has that a few times, but like he starts to be like, I've chosen poorly.
Yes, exactly.
Oh my God. Okay, so they find a cure, but the only way for it to manifest is for Odo to return to how did we feel? Because you had come around on the Kira Odo thing.
I'd come around. It's still not like something I'm like obsessed with, but I definitely was on board, with they made sense together. And it was so sad when he had to go back, and I was surprised that he made that decision.
Really?
A little. Yeah. Like, as he was describing it and as he was saying, I have to go back, I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense from like an epic storytelling standpoint and a hero's journey standpoint.
And they've embedded so many episodes to drive home how desperate he is to find his family and to be among. I mean, the amount of times he's had changeling sexy time where you're like, dude, man.
Yeah. Come on, Odo.
Come on, Odo.
Yeah. And I guess I was like just not necessarily trusting the changelings that like he would go back and he's like, I'm gonna teach them the good ways. Like, no, really? There's like 5 billion of them or something like in this link lake.
Yeah.
you're gonna change all their minds just by you being one person. And like,
I know. It's oh, there's so many times in Deep Space Nine where I'm like, oh no, why? You just make better choices, Odo. But all that being said, I do ship Odo and Kira very much, and so the saying goodbye, and then when he changes into the tux, I remember we were on the Star Trek cruise, and they have like 3 channels that just play Star Trek episodes, and so random Star Trek episodes.
Nice.
So you can like put one on, and if you don't like that episode, you can go to another channel and watch it. And I literally turned the TV on in the middle of the day to like Odo and Kira like saying goodbye. I was like, what? Why?
Why you gotta?
Oh god, yes. It's just so brutal. Right, Paladin, it seems he could have been linked for a few days, then they realize they've been crappy, and then he goes back to Kira.
That's kind of what I thought. I was like, why does this have to be a big thing? Can't he just go and teach them to be good people or good things and then come back?
Exactly. It just I'm still annoyed. But they do have a sweet farewell. Yeah. And story-wise, I suppose it makes sense.
Right.
Whatever. Whatever. Good. G. Mandel agrees that we think there's still a future with them. We've not written it off. We just didn't get to see it.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Headcanon.
Yes. Oh my god. Also, rest in peace, Renee. We love you. All right. So with that said, let's get to Sisko now. So we're nearing. I mean, we were planning on going over an hour, so don't worry that we have not talked about some stuff yet because we got time to talk about it. We're getting there. But yes, Cairo said I think they wanted big changes in life for all of the main characters. That's fair. Let's get into what happened. So with Sisko.
Yeah.
He gets married. That happened in this 10-hour episode. Mostly up front is when they have that marriage discussion. And how'd you feel about it?
Yeah, I mean, I loved it at first. I was so excited, so giddy. I was like, yay, they're getting married. Yay. And then, of course, it has to turn into an emissary thing.
Emissary.
So that was kind of annoying. Because I've never super loved that part.
Stupid prophets.
Right? Stupid wormhole aliens. So I was sort of on Cassidy's sort of, corner with all this. Like, come on, Sisko.
Yeah.
Because they wanted like a little private thing with their friends. And then it turns into he has to bless everybody or they have to bless him.
She has like responsibilities.
So she's like supposed to do certain things and have wifely duties, which no. And I'm so glad that she pushed back on that. Like that really A, made sense for her character, and B, just made me love her even more.
Yeah. So Terrell asked you, the prophets were against them getting married, so knowing how it ended, do you agree? Should they have got married?
Well, that was interesting because when the end came and he is basically turns into a prophet and is no longer living linearly. He lives living the way that they introduced to him in the very beginning. There is no past, there is no future, whatever.
Exactly.
But the fact that he told Cassidy, he was able to communicate with her and say, I loved the line he said, well, maybe yesterday. Like, maybe I'll see you yesterday. And so
she's like, but no, because I live in normal time.
I know. So it's extremely frustrating, but the fact that there's open possibilities for him to still be a part of her life and a part of Jake's life, as much as I would prefer it for him to not have gone that direction, for the prophets to make him go that direction.
Yeah.
It wasn't as frustrating as I expected.
Yeah, and I
think they should have still gotten married.
Okay,
to answer your question.
Yeah. Oh my god, Music Paladin, we're gonna come back to that because that's brilliant. But yes, the just looking at, so it sounds like a lot of people are a little dissatisfied with Sisko's arc, like the ending. I think that's fair. what I do like is, even though it's like the prophets and the emissary side, I also think that it's a very relatable thing that a couple would go through, where it's like, we love each other, we want to be together. Oh yeah, the real world exists. And the real world sometimes does not allow for that partnership to happen, and you have to fight through it, and you have obstacles. And some people are able to overcome them, and some people aren't. And I think even though it's like this grand, you know, religion, an entire planet, an entire responsibility, and all these wormhole aliens, it's like, at the end of the day, though, it's still a really relatable relationship problem.
Totally. It's extremely relatable, and I'm glad you brought that up, because, yeah, I got that same sense of, like, even though this is fantastical in so many ways, this is a real issue people deal with all the time.
Where it's like, even the wedding planning, right? Is just like, okay, we want to have a small wedding, and then it's like, oh, we don't allow that.
I'm glad I found this in my notes when I was looking through them this morning. There's a moment when Winn comes aboard to congratulate him or something, and has the most Winnist line ever. When she's like, perhaps you thought I wouldn't be available.
Oh, yeah, that was such a good moment. That was such a good moment. Oh my god, you were right. That is the most Winnist moment of, like, I mean, you probably just assumed I wasn't available to do your wedding. And it's like, oh, snap.
I mean, that's like worse than dealing with the mother-in-law. Like,
busted. She is the mother-in-law from hell. Oh my god. She's just like,
Because, like, how do you respond to that? It's like, actually, we didn't want to ask you in the first place.
Oh my god, she's so great. She's so great. I freaking love her. Before we are on the precipice of our Winn chat here. Which we were like gonna dedicate some serious time to, because it's so brilliant. But Captain Quinn. Oh my god, I love this. Okay. Rewatching Deep Space Nine, knowing what happens when he punches Q and makes him reel for it, made me wonder if it was the prophet part that was making Q hurt.
What?
Boom! I love that. That's so cool.
Me too.
I really like that.
Because I think that might have been one of those moments I noticed, and it was like, but how could Sisko hurt Q? I think I might have said that.
Yeah, I remember that.
And yeah,
I love it. That's really good.
Space
well done.
Karen. Space Karen.
Space Karen. She is so Space Karen. Oh my god, she's so good. So yeah, then Todd also brought up a really good point about Jake and Jake's tragedy. It's like, he's had to watch his dad die so many times.
Yeah.
How did you feel? I guess let's talk about Jake like across Deep Space Nine, like the whole arc.
I love Jake, first of all. Absolutely love him. I was really, really sad for Jake at the end. Yeah. Like, that is one moment that made me mad at Sisko. And mad at the prophets, and mad at the emissaries, and mad at them all. Like,
burn it to the ground.
To the ground. Bring torches to the wormhole.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I was very, very mad that Sisko would not be around for Jake. More mad about that than him not being around for Cassidy.
Yeah, that's fair. That's valid. It's such a betrayal.
Yeah.
It does make me angry.
Physically just hurts.
Yeah.
And
Tumor Boy, he's gotten used to it. That's brutal.
Yeah. But as far as Jake's arc across the series, like, it was so interesting to watch a character who doesn't go the Starfleet path, and I love that they spent some time on that, and I love that, I mean, him and Sisko's relationship was just fantastic.
Yeah.
Watching them, they're like physically affectionate, they're relatively, normal father-son. They have their normal father-son moments, and it just it feels very real, and I love what they did with that relationship.
Yeah, we'll have to. Samantha hasn't watched the documentary.
No,
they go into a lot of that about, like, culturally what that meant for a single black father to be affectionate with his son, and just to be able to see that relationship on television and how affecting it was for so many people.
Yeah, and I thought about that many, many times when they had those lovely moments together, and just how that must have been an important thing for a lot of people.
I'm so sorry, Jake. But I mean, we know he'll go on to be a great writer.
Yeah,
we believe in him.
We do,
and it's kind of nice, but it's really, really sad. All right, Space Karen. Oh my God,
it's time for Space Karen.
I'm so glad you reminded me of that quote of her being like, you must have assumed I wouldn't be available.
My child.
I love it. And I mean, and when we mentioned that, a few people were posting in there, it's like love the writing, hate the character.
Yeah.
It's like, and Louise Fletcher,
the way she delivers those lines is like
so
perfect.
Good. So good.
She just chews on them and it's like just delivers them with this like beautiful softness. It's like the classic, like, think people are scarier when they don't yell.
Yes. Oh, she's, oh my God, yes, she's all of those things. She's so good. So when Samantha, when we were heading into the finale, there were a few moments where I was like, oh my God, like, if I could just be in the room with you while you watch this. The thing I was thinking of was the Dukat Kai Winn plot. I freaking love this so hard, where it's so messed up.
Oh, it's so messed up.
It's so messed up, and like, I can't watch it, but also it might be my favorite arc in Deep Space Nine.
It's so brilliantly messed up. Like,
oh God, so.
And I was texting you in real time. And I think that moment was just a why. A big old why.
Yeah.
Like WHHH, why? Like,
multiple times.
Why did this just happen? What have I just seen? What have I just witnessed?
Why are my eyes making me see this? Yeah.
Why is my brain exploding?
Laura has excused themselves to go throw up, so.
Yeah, in fact, I may have paused it and done the same thing.
Oh my God. It is like, every time I watch it like this, because it's like, but it's like Shakespearean level of brilliant storytelling. To have it be, and Terrell mentioned this, like, to have it be those two, like, that end up together. But yeah,
Right, I know.
Then to have him disguise himself as a Bajoran and get in her good graces is so good.
It's so cringy and crawly to see him as a Bajoran. And like the fact that he stays as a Bajoran.
Yeah.
I was writing that. I was like, why is he still in Bajoran face?
Oh my God.
But maybe it was like he couldn't get out of it or something. But
yeah. Yeah, I mean, we have all of that discussion. Get in her good side. Oh, Baka, no. Yeah. But remember, they led us to this very well with Dukat discovering the power race and then becoming, I mean, ever since the end of season 6 when he killed Jadzia, like, I feel like that was the and then he takes over Empok Nor and becomes a cult leader. It's like, I do think he legitimately, like, wanted to be Bajoran because of this. Like,
and I got that feeling too, and that's what was, like, even more creepy and awesome about that character is, like, he's got this deep-seated, like, hatred of Bajoran but wants to be them, and like, and
it's like, does he want to take her down? Like, how deep?
Yeah,
I mean, because he does. They do the thing, and it is so hard to watch.
I know.
Let's just give credit though to the actors, because like, they chew those scenes, and the reveal of her finding out that it's Dukat. Whoa.
I mean, you can just
Samantha is feeling physically ill.
This is why she is so great. Is you can see her understanding that and taking that in and feeling herself physically ill about it. It's like, what is happening right now? You know. But yeah, I mean, it was so interesting how, like, his voice and his mannerisms.
Don't read the chat. Terrell just dropped one that
Wait.
we need to.
Don't read.
No,
it?
you can. I mean, you can, but you're gonna throw up.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Oh God.
His voice sounded so different not in Cardassian makeup.
Yeah.
It was bizarre.
It was so weird.
Yeah.
He fully embodied this like fake character that he built up. But what I loved though, and where I think it got to that Shakespearean level, was when her assistant saw it. You know, he's like, no, something's wrong, and I don't like this, and I don't need him to be around her. And then and then she kills him. Then she kills him, and it's the blood of that awakens the Pa-wraiths. Is like so good.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh my god. Just
so okay. Oh, Cairo. So yeah, let's like, now that we've geeked out over the whole thing, like let's actually talk about the Pa-wraiths and like what drives these characters, because I mean you kind of picked up on this, and this is where I had to cut you off of the chat because way back a couple seasons ago, because we were talking about like how Dukat and Kai Winn are like the same person. Like they are just two halves of a mirror. And that's where the chat was like, boom, snap, what? Like, guess what's gonna happen? So I was like, Samantha can't watch this anymore.
Yes. Yeah. They are. They're mirror images of each other. But I think one of the notes I had during the finale was like, it's like Kai Winn just has a teeny bit more of logical thinking, of, I don't want to say morality, but
it's not morality.
It's not morality, but she has just like a teeny tick more of taking a few steps back and go, oh, am I doing the right thing?
Yeah.
Even if the right thing is skewed in her mind, she still has that moment of, am I doing that right thing?
Yeah.
Whereas Dukat is all the way on the other side of does not have that.
Right. And I think that's where he lured her so successfully into that realm of being like fulfilling these prophecies that she believes in, and then that kind of what drags her there. Yeah.
And the fact that she was able to go so far the other direction, and right, you're exactly right. He was able to use that to convince her that the prophets were not serving, or were not who she should be serving, like, because they didn't give her anything.
So this is one of my favorite things, and I'm gonna get into it deep, but I don't want to lose Cairo's comment here about Dukat, that he could never live with the fact that the Bajorans didn't appreciate him when he was a Cardassian, you know, occupier, that he tries to get back to being that. And I think that that's where, but maybe that was like in his mind, becoming Bajoran closes that loop somehow, that it's like now they won't see him as a Cardassian, and he can. It's a weird obsession. Yeah, but I love it. Oh my god, I love it.
He just plays it so well.
And then Cairo also mentioned, so like I do we love Kai Winn, but like legitimately talking about her arc, I was telling Samantha this story that this was Dragon Con like 7 or 8 years ago. They had on Monday morning a religion and Star Trek panel, and it was 2 theologists, both Star Trek fans, and it was Monday morning, so people were hungover as hell, like, and it was like, I just want to sit in a cold air-conditioned room until I have to leave for the airport, so I'm gonna go listen to this religion and Star Trek because it sounds interesting. But it was only like 25 people maybe, and we all ended up just kind of having a circle type conversation about this stuff. But what we ended up talking about that I really like, and the theory of this is like, so a few people mentioned, Cairo said this too, that at the end she shows a little bit of remorse for what she's done and tells Sisko the clue about the book. The theory that we discussed and we kind of came to in this conversation was like, what if the prophets, and this is where you start to feel sorry for Kai Winn, so no bout now if you don't want to feel sorry for her. What if the prophets intentionally ignored Kai Winn to drive her to the Pa-wraiths, to then bring the thing full circle? Like, that's brutal. Yeah, but I actually would be that makes a lot of sense to me. The prophets are like super manipulative anyway, like the way they just controlled Sisko's entire existence. I mean, because they the way they see, like
no past, no future. No, they're not. They don't do time linearly, so they know what they need to do to make certain things happen.
Yeah.
I would 100% think that that's what they did.
Yeah, yeah. And it's so cruel because we saw, especially in season 7, how much she resented not being talked to. Because it seems like just jealousy from a desire for power from the beginning when we first meet her. But then it starts to evolve into like, no, she's jealous that like the prophets don't talk to her and she's never been able to talk to them. And I just feel like it's so horrible and cruel and leads her down this path that then ends up coming full circle. But it's like I do kind of feel sad for her. It's so brutal.
And she has, and one of the most brilliant moments in the finale is when she has that moment with Kira. And
oh my god, yes. Oh Jesus, yeah.
That's that moment where she could have gone one way. She took the other train.
She Kai-wind all over it.
She Kai-wind the other way. And it was like, I think that was the key turning point.
Yeah.
In her actually going a little bit more insane.
Josh knows what part we're talking about, but it's the part where Kira is basically like, she's like, I don't know what to do. I've lost track of this stuff. Like, I need to find my own way. And she's like, well, you could step down from being Kai.
And she's just like,
well, but I feel the prophets like need me to be Kai.
Yeah. So, what do you mean?
It's
we had the best GIF exchange.
We did.
When that moment happened, I used the lady with all the little the math equations that go in front of her face. It's like, does not compute. And then you sent just a thing of Kermit turning like this.
It was like,
and it's like I laughed at that so hard because it's exactly the right reaction.
She 100% was like, nope, too far.
That's not what I meant.
That's not what I meant. I still want to be in charge. I need the prophets to respect me, but I need to still be in charge.
Yeah. Oh my god,
so good. It's so good. So yeah, I love all of this. So Charles said, I think there's more free will with the prophets. I think she started going down the wrong path when she stopped the showdown between possessed Jake and Kira. Ooh, interesting.
When because she stopped that.
That's really interesting. Yeah, I like that a lot. So in terms of like, because we started, when I've had conversations like this before, a big discussion of like, are the prophets real? Are the Pa-wraiths real? I think a great moment... Another great where I'm like, this is freaking Shakespeare, is when Dukat goes blind.
Yes.
Because he read the book. Oh, it's so good.
So satisfying.
That was another text exchange. We were like, oh my god, he's blind. Yes.
That was so great. And then, so he goes blind when he tries to read the book, right? And he's like that for quite a while.
Yeah, it's a few episodes. And then she has to take care of him, and then we all throw up a little bit more. Yeah.
That was a brilliant moment. And so the other big moment is when he, like, they're in, you have about Mount Doom.
Yeah, you know exactly what I was talking about. I just wrote in the notes Mount Doom.
Yeah. And there was a moment when they're standing by that fiery pit, and I was like, just please, Kai-Winn, throw him in. Just throw him in the fire. That's all I want to see. And it didn't happen. But then how does he die? Like
Sisko. It's him and Sisko. Yeah. And that's, someone way, way earlier in the chat, mentioned that they were sad that Sisko didn't get closure with Kai-Winn. Right? It sucks. I mean, it really, how great would that have been? Yeah. Just to have Sisko just shove her into the fire.
Yeah, I could totally see that. She does like a scar fall.
Exactly.
The
stupid hat flying off.
Stupid hat.
We got this all worked out in our brain. Yeah.
But then, the moment when Dukat, like, this happens at the very, when does this happen? When he comes back. Because I tuned back in, and you were like, brace yourself. And I was like, okay, bracing. And then just like the next one was like, oh, for fuck's sake. Why is Dukat standing up again?
Yeah, yep.
Full on Cardassian, red eyes. Oh, but that was so good.
Yeah.
Like,
It's so good. It's annoyingly so good. It's like, I hate all these people. I hate their faces. I hate what's happening, but I can't look away.
I can't look away.
Oh my god. Yeah, Laura brought up a good point. The parallels between Winn's lust for power and Dukat, I'd say, compared to the parallel line of the Klingons trying to sort out their own leadership and then having this, having say like, no, power is given, and giving that to Martok. It's like you see two leaders who handle it very differently.
Right.
Where she's like, no, I can't step down. I can't step down. The prophets need me. She's like, the prophets aren't talking to you. Like, that's the point. She's like, no, but I need to be in charge. And as compared to Martok, who's like, I don't want to be in charge. I don't think I'm good at this. Right. And it's like, that's why you're good at it.
Exactly. That's the person you want in charge. The same with, like, Dumar. I mean, he didn't really want to be where he was, but he had to take charge of that moment.
Yeah.
Good leaders and bad leaders.
Good leaders and bad leaders. Yeah. Oh, and good point. Todd said, and then Kywin called him emissary when she told him about the book, accepting that he is the emissary, which is a huge moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, the line, I touch the fire and it freezes me. I look into it and it's black. It's so good. I love it so much.
Just the betrayal that she feels is so deep.
It's so deep, and it's like. And I'm so grateful that they extended this finale to be as long as it is, to give her the time and space so we see her frustration, we see her desperation to learn things. And like what leads her to the Pah-wraiths is just wanting to know, not wanting to lose power, but like also wanting to know why they don't talk to her and like what else she can do for them. And then creepy Bajoran Dukat is like, you should read this book. Maybe these answers are in there. And then she really falls deep into it. And
he full on Lady Macbeth's her.
100%.
With that scene in the mirror, like, oh my god.
So good. So good.
You can see her, these actors are so amazing. Like, you can see her wheels turning.
Yeah.
To get to that place.
It really does. And I think though, like it'd be curious to hear from people like where you think the turning point was for Kywin to become like to join the Pah-wraiths, because like for me I think it's when she stabbed her assistant, I forget his name, but it's like, and then the blood drips on the book, and then it's like finally some magic happens to her and she is special. I think that whole moment is like, okay, I've just killed someone who cared about me, I have now activated and I'm special. Like it's like all those things of like, okay, no, I'm going down this path. And I think especially we've seen this in lots of other storytelling, but it's like once they kill someone, they don't, that's their like, I can't go back.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Because then that moment, she still doesn't know that Dukat is Dukat, right?
Right. No, yes. It's like that same scene, she figures it out. Yeah. Because he told her it's Dukat. And then they grapple, and then she stabs him.
No, it's not. And then it's a little while later. So you're right. So in that moment, she's feeling special because someone loves her. She's feeling powerful because she just did this thing, and something happened for her. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Freaking Dukat, man. Like, it's just such a good for him to like. I hate Kywin. Like, I love seeing her on the screen because she's so good. But, like, I hate Dukat's face. Like, anytime he's on it, I'm like, ugh!
Yeah. So, that's going to be fun to watch again.
No kidding. So, if people are coming in later into our rewatch, we shall never not remind Samantha that
the words, I think Dukat is a cool guy, came out of my mouth.
And then the chat exploded. But the thing is too, is it's like a lot, and they talk about this in the documentary, like a lot of people liked Dukat at first, and no one liked Garrick, and then it like slowly started, so people are now remembering this. Oh no.
But I fully understand.
Yeah. I mean, it does, all the scenes with him and Kywin do make you physically ill. So deeply unpleasant. That's when Samantha found the Pah-wraiths. We all stray occasionally. They've got your back.
Yeah.
It was so good. So I think we've established you no longer have those feelings for Gul Dukat.
100%.
Jesus, it's so great.
Yeah.
It's so good. And,
But that really does speak to that he has such... he has such a journey of, at first, when the show is starting, he's in a completely different space.
Yeah.
A completely different headspace as a character. He's in a completely, for viewers, he's in a completely different space.
Yeah.
And then he starts to have these switches, and you realize all the potential for those switches was there at the very beginning, but you just didn't see it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, clearly. So the fact that his character turns so dramatically to what happens in the end, but that still feels like a natural turn. Like,
Totally.
so much testament to the writing and acting in that.
Totally, it really does. Everything about his arc is so good. Okay, that's all we had in our notes. Was there anything? If people have things that we did not talk about that you want us to talk about, I think we covered everything. We geeked out enough about Kai Winn. I fucking love it. It's so good. It's so good. Oh, we love to hate her. And Louise Fletcher just, it's like, science fiction is often it's always overlooked in the industry for like awards and things like that. Like, it's seen as like a lesser genre. And I've sort of accepted this, but like, I'm viscerally angry that Louise Fletcher did not win an award for Kai Winn. Like,
would have deserved it completely.
Seriously. And like, you know, she's an acclaimed actor. She won Best Supporting Actress, I think, for One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Which I think a few people in here realized in real time that was the same actress.
Oh, nice.
You know? Yeah, it's so good. I think it's criminal that she didn't win an Emmy for her role. Like, she's so good.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Agreed.
Chills.
O'Brien didn't really suffer in the last 10 hours.
He didn't.
Personal growth.
He made his life choices. No, you know why? Because he said, I'm done with this nonsense.
Yeah.
I'm going back to Starfleet.
I'm going to a classroom and teach other kids.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, it's so good. He did suffer by leaving Julian. Oh, that is sad.
Yeah.
The ultimate suffering. But I think, though, too, what has been good in that last season, and this is where it's like a lot of people hate Keiko unfair. I think, and I have no problem saying very unfairly, but I think he realized O'Brien's life on Deep Space Nine and his life married to Keiko were not compatible. Like, at all.
Yeah.
Keiko couldn't stay on the station.
Yeah.
He wasn't able to be a dad. Like, and he genuinely loves Keiko and loves his kids, and everyone sees Keiko as like the bad one who pulls him away from our favorite bromance, but like, you know.
I don't see it that way. And they also, like, they left little scenes for that to happen with Keiko and like he and O'Brien, like, trying to be this family unit, and it's very difficult.
Yeah.
So I think that makes sense. The decision makes sense.
Yeah. It's good, but there is still suffering because toy soldiers. All right, good question.
Yeah.
Any other?
Well, I just have to mention, I just remembered literally just now that we get to see Vic one more time.
Let's talk about Vic.
Finale.
Yes. Oh my God, Vic.
I think it's just the one scene with Quark because Quark's like, all my friends are gone.
Yeah.
And that's all he has is Vic to chat to.
Yeah, but it's you really loved
I did.
Vic.
I really did.
I'm so glad that because I was thinking about that when you were lamenting, I think around season 3 or 4, that Deep Space Nine had no holodeck episodes, and then I was like, oh no, this is gonna pay off.
Yes, I had to suffer through a lack of holodeck episodes to get to some of the best holodeck episodes ever.
But yeah, then at the very end of the finale, they all are in Vic's.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
You blocked it out because it's really sad.
probably.
You were probably crying through it.
Probably.
Because that's what I do.
Yeah. I was just seeing it through like a sheen of tears.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, the scene, and I do love that in terms of like dialogue and character moments that they have, Vic and Quark have that scene together, because, you know, Quark always hated Vix and never went in there because he was just like rival bar. There's
right.
a rival bar within my own bar. Like, you know, F this nonsense, man. But the fact that he does spend time with him and he's like, it's hard to be, you know, he's like, of course too, it's like Quark being like, well, they're all out there fighting. He's like, but they don't know how hard I have it. You know?
Yeah, turns on to himself.
Yeah, of course.
But just a great little moment.
Yeah, it's so great. Yeah, Two More Boy says, episodes without a holodeck is Samantha Must Suffer.
Yeah.
Oh, so good. All right. Yes, that's true. So Music Paladin said, does Samantha know a bunch of guest actors, writers, and producers are all in the final Vix scene? And it was the last thing shot, so it was a literal party.
Oh, wow. That's so cool. I did not know that. But it's very impressive that they were able to shoot that at the end. Yeah.
I think, is Ira Steven Bear in there? I think he is. I think you can see him. He's hard to miss. He might be too recognizable with his dyed goatee.
Oh.
He's, the executive producers.
Oh, gotcha.
But yeah, cool. We'll, thank you everyone. Well done, Samantha.
Yeah,
you made it! Deep Space Nine!
Yay!
Yeah, we love it. We love Deep Space Nine.
We do.
Okay, so you've seen now Voyager, TNG, and Deep Space Nine.
And Discovery and Picard.
Okay. What's your favorite season?
Oh, don't
series.
Well, I'm pretty fresh off DS9 and I loved it. I do watch Voyager often though.
Awesome.
Like I do rewatch and pretty casually, like I skip through the ones that now I don't have to
right.
suffer through like Cass. So, I was thinking about this as DS9 was going on, actually. I was still thinking, I love DS9, this is great, but I think Voyager is still my favorite because of XYZ. But right now, I would say DS9. I can't wait to watch this through again.
Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. Yes, we will watch the documentary. And at the very least have Twitter conversations.
Yes.
Oh, Todd. Oh, yay. I'm glad you watched it with us. I have, honestly, so many friends have, like, come out and said that they never finished Deep Space Nine because they can't bear to watch it. Like, they can't bear to finish it. Mm-hmm. Like, multiple friends of mine are like, nope, I got to, like, that part 1, and I was like, I don't want to watch this because I can't let it finish. Also, Jedi, go sit in the corner for earworming everyone with Enterprise theme song. Not allowed. But thank you for watching it, Todd, with the rest of us. I hope you liked it. And yeah, this is the thing, is it's like I watch a lot of Voyager, but like I just love Deep Space Nine. Yeah. Samantha's here in LA. Yay! There's a party for Jedi happening as well, so send love his way as well. But thank you all for being here. This was really, really fun. This was a lot of fun. Deep Space Nine for the win. And yes, I'm glad everyone was able to join us for this last year of watching all of Deep Space Nine. I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah. So stand up, stretch, take care of yourselves and each other. If you don't follow us, I'm at Dr. Erin Mack on Twitter.
At Travel Samantha on Twitter.
And so you can at least hang out with us there, because we may or may not be back, but we'll be sure to let you know, and hopefully we can
say hi. And now I don't have to avoid spoilers on Twitter either.
Yes, exactly.
I had so many scrolling moments because I'm there's so much Trek Twitter that I'm part of right now. But so many scrolling moments when my eyes would see something and I'm like, I don't think I was supposed to say that.
I don't think I was supposed to do that. Yeah. So yes, now we can talk about Deep Space Nine galore, so go bug her on Twitter about it. All right, everyone, take care.
Bye.
Live long and prosper.
Yeah.
Bye.
Oh.